following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
A Canton man is being mourned by family and friends today after he was killed early Saturday morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4.
The Fulton County Sheriff says it's not an open and shut case, although they have a suspect in custody.
We have done 100% our best job that we can do in order to bring the information that can be helpful to the state's attorney.
37-year-old James Maddox has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of Troy Hedges. Maddox will be back in court October 28th for a preliminary hearing. Troy Hedges' funeral was held today in Canton.
In more local news, Mayor Mike Inman and city aldermen are working behind closed doors to narrow down the list of candidates for city administrator. But there are 2 more job openings for the city of Macomb. Tomorrow is a deadline to apply for the downtown development coordinator position. There are 25 applicants for this position right now. The deadline to fill Jason Bainter's public works director job closes next Friday at 5 p.m. The city will begin interviews by the end of the month, with plans to have both positions filled by the first of the year.
Canton is one of the many beautiful towns of central Illinois you can visit for the scenic drive, but there is only one weekend in October left. The US 24 at Buckhart Creek is closed and drivers will be redirected to a detour route using Illinois 78 and 9 in its place. Please visit the Spoon River Drive website for more information on participating events.
Moving to weather, temperatures in the 80s persisted today, and it's been pretty pleasant for the most part. But it looks like a big change is coming our way soon. It seems like Mother Nature just can't make up her mind about what season we're in.
Nick Stewart is in the Storm Team 3 Weather Center with a look at what we should expect tonight and into tomorrow. Nick?
Yeah, you know, right outside, as you take a look outside, I mean, it's mostly sunny conditions, very warm conditions out there. It feels very much like either late summer, possibly early autumn. But as we go into the future, we are looking at the chances of cold front moving through, bringing in some showers and thunderstorms. But again, right now, very beautiful outside. A few people doing their daily deeds outside. Temperatures nearing 80 this afternoon at 78 degrees. Dry conditions continue ahead of a cold front, but that is going to change later on this afternoon. Look at the satellite radar composite. We can see some clouds moving through the area and clouds beginning to develop in far eastern Iowa. That's moving along the leading edge of a cold front that's pushing our way. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlook, this green area is your thunderstorm risk for this evening and this afternoon. So we could looking at a chance for definitely some showers, perhaps even some isolated thunderstorms as well. But again, ahead of the cold front, temperatures are very warm with temperatures in the upper 70s and in some places even the low 80s. In a few minutes, take a look at your full forecast, but for now, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. The city of Macomb will start collecting yard waste over the next 2 months. There are some restrictions to the fall yard waste pickup. No brush or branches can be more than 3 inches in diameter. Bundles need to be tied with twine. The bundles can be no longer than 4 feet in length. Do not put yard waste in the green waste management carts. The waste management will end the yard waste pickup on Thursday, December 3rd. A WIU professor has been named the conductor of the Quincy Area Youth Orchestra. Dr. Richard Kangro, an associate professor of music education at WIU. A WIU's news release says he taught for 15 years as a public school band and orchestra coordinator in Connecticut prior to coming to Western. He earned his master's and doctorate in music education from the Hart School. Kangro currently performs with the Quincy Symphony and has even performed with the Ringling Brothers.
And the presidential race is in full swing, and that means it's time for the mock presidential election at WIU. The 5-day event is entirely run by students and set to kick off on October 20th. The mock election will mimic the entire presidential selection process, including the Iowa caucuses, electoral college vote, and more. The simulation has produced very accurate results in the past, including President Obama's narrow re-election victory in 2012. More information about the WIU mock election can be found at wiumpe.com. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. WIU helps find a cure by holding an annual volleyball tournament at the end of the month. The 15th annual Big Pink Volleyball runs Monday October 26th through Thursday, October 29th. The tournament is held at Spencer Recreation Center. This year, proceeds will be donated to the Peoria Memorial Susan G. Komen for the Cure and McDonough District Hospital Mammogram Program. For details on Big Pink Volleyball, go to wiu.edu and search for Big Pink Volleyball.
This weekend marks the 4th annual Fallen Soldiers 5K at WIU. 513 people are registered for the run on the event Facebook page. Packet pickup is this Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Alumni House at WIU. Registrants can also pick up their packet on race day at the Rec Center. Students not already signed up can register for $35 the same time as packet pickup. The race will start at 9 a.m. on North Lawn of Western Hall on University Drive. All proceeds from the 5K go to the Fallen Soldiers Scholarship. WIU is welcoming a famous comedian to the campus this weekend. WIU's Family Weekend kicks off tomorrow. To start things off, comedian Sinbad will be performing tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. in Western Hall. Also on Friday night at 7:30, the Wind Ensemble's Family Weekend concert debuts, conducted by Mike Fansler. Saturday starts off the Family Weekend tailgate. The tailgate is completely alcohol-free and will offer alcohol education events and tips on how to party smart. Tailgate starts at 12 p.m. and goes until game time. Dennis DeYoung from the band Styx will be performing in Q Lot from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. And finishing off Saturday night is the choir's fall concert directed by James Stiegel and Jonathan Sager.
Halloween is peeking its scary head once again. Last year, NEWS3 embraced its fear and took on Good Hope's haunted house. Join us tomorrow as NEWS3 sits down with the two scare experts as they talk about their haunted creation.
Who will be the next Speaker of the House? A big shakeup today on Capitol Hill. The forerunner for the position takes himself out of the race, and the reason may sound similar to why the current office holder is stepping down.
Plus, will the Marty McFly prophecy come to fruition? It's a sea of cubby blue around campus on the eve before one of the most anticipated playoff series in recent MLB memory.
And I'm Danny Fry, and later in sports, it's our game of the week. Quincy Notre Dame comes to Macomb to play some high school pigskin. It's a game with postseason implications, a must-win for both ball clubs. Also, tune in tomorrow to Good Morning Macomb for an in-depth analysis of the matchup. A preview of tomorrow night's game later on in sports.
Stories, they happen everywhere. At NEWS3, we go the distance and tell them firsthand. Across the region,
the tornado tore through a neighborhood in Washington, Illinois.
Across the state.
Here at the state capitol in Springfield for the gubernatorial race.
Across generations.
We have a lot of people that are very dedicated. We're all volunteers.
The stories that inform us, the stories that move us, the stories that matter from a fresh perspective.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. The pressure's too much. I quit. I get it. I can do better. Just please don't leave.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Before the lights go on, dedication, teamwork, precision. Award-winning leadership brings you Macomb's only local TV newscast. On the air, live at 4, Friday mornings at 10, and online all the time. Our community, your community, NEWS3.
Take your train to go. Stand by 3 for the push-in.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up.
Now from Macomb, high definition, you're watching Colleen Judge, Anna Malay Zuniga, Storm Team 3's 5-day outlook, and sports with Danny Fry. Live at 4 continues.
A shocking development on Capitol Hill in the race to find the next Speaker of the House.
House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy dropped out of the race to succeed retiring Speaker John Boehner today. The California Republican was believed to be the favorite to succeed Boehner and appeared to have the votes to win the GOP nomination for Speaker.
But his momentum appeared to stall amid resistance from some staunch conservatives. In a statement, McCarthy said he withdrew when it became clear to him that the House Republicans were deeply divided. He urged his colleagues to unite behind one leader.
McCarthy's decision came as Republicans were set to vote on a nominee. Boehner postponed the vote to a later date.
The CDC says cucumbers are causing a national outbreak of salmonella. 61 people have been newly infected, bringing the number up to 732.
The CDC says that 35 states have been linked to this outbreak. 50% of the infected are children under the age of 18. The most recent death occurred in Oklahoma, joining other states such as California, Arizona, and Texas.
Here in Illinois, 9 people have been infected. Neighboring Wisconsin has 40. According to the CDC, it can take up to a week for the infection to take effect. Cucumbers sold under the Fat Boy label, as well as the limited edition brand, are already being recalled. The CDC says it expects more infections to surface over the coming weeks.
The Cubs won their wild card game last night 4-0. Cubs fans on campus are excited to see them doing well.
News 3's Kyle Sullivan shows us just how excited they are.
Across the Western Illinois campus, one of the teams that are commonly rooted for in the baseball world are the Chicago Cubs. Cub fans across campus are excited to see their team make the playoffs this season, especially after the great play after the All-Star break.
Oh, they've been doing a fabulous job after the break, after the All-Star game. Somehow they've just been winning by one all the time. It's always at the last moment when you really need it. So it's just a great time to be a Cubs fan.
The team has had such great success this season that even fans of other baseball teams are starting to root for the Cubs during their postseason run.
Well, honestly, I'm not really even a Cubs fan. I'm more of a Red Sox fan. But being an Illinois native, I think it's pretty cool because this is closest they've gotten since 2008, I believe.
A common thought amongst Cub fans is that even if they don't do well this postseason, that they'll do well over the next few seasons.
I hope they do well. I know this will be a good startup, and hope we'll keep all the players. So hopefully, 2 or 3 years, maybe, we might be in the playoffs again.
If they don't make it all the way this season, I believe they will within the next year or two. They're on their way. They've got a lot of good opportunities set up, and I've got high expectations.
Reporting for News 3, I'm Kyle Sullivan.
Go, go, go! Home run! Home run! Woo!
Hold on.
The Cubs face the Cardinals in their next series.
Coming up after the break, we know we have a cool down on the way, but how long is it expected to last?
Nick Stewart will tell you what's in store for your weekend ahead.
Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet.
Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women. I could use your help. Yeah! Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
What did you want to be when you grew up? Now, how do you make it happen? Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
My favorite thing about WIU is how much we work as a team. Everyone here has helped immensely, and when we work together, the outcome is amazing. Producing for the newscast, writing for the newscast, going to city council every Monday. It's something that I've learned that it takes a team. There's no such thing as an I. If there's an I, then we know that something's going to go wrong. I really do believe WIU has prepared me for the outside world. I can't wait to see where I end up. I have to thank everyone that has been involved. You know, Jasmine Creighton, she has managed to help me overcome that scary part. And the way that you have a great show is not the content that you have, it's the people who you work with. And here at WIU, I have had a chance to work with some excellent people.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful Thursday outside. Taking a look at the courthouse square, you can see lots of sunshine. Temperatures are increasing through the afternoon. We're up to 78 degrees out ahead of a cold front, but notice the humidity value is only at 49%. Remember that, because I'll talk about that in just a few moments. We also got this nice south-southwesterly wind blowing at 10, sometimes even up to 15 miles per hour at times ahead of this cold front. As again, you see it extending through the tri-states all the way back through Kansas. Out ahead of it, you can see temperatures very warm in the 80s, even upper 70s. Behind it, though, Des Moines at 74 degrees. A pretty big temperature disparity between the behind and ahead of that cold front. And looking across eastern Iowa, we can start seeing these clouds developing on the leading edge of this cold front. This is where we're going to start seeing some showers and perhaps even some thunderstorms begin to develop as it moves into our region. Looking at the Futurecast radar, about 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to start seeing these showers and thunderstorms developing. By 7 o'clock tonight, though, these are when they're going to be moving through our area, potentially bringing some shower activity. As they move through the state of Illinois along that cold front, that's your chance for thunderstorms primarily. Not really much in the way of rainfall, really. Taking a look at the Futurecast rainfall totals, much of the rainfall is looking to be falling well to our east, but there is that potential for these thunderstorms to develop along the cold front. Nothing severe at all, perhaps just a few showers and thunderstorms. For tonight, we're going to drop down behind the cold front into the 50s. Again, the winds will shift from the southwest to the north. It'll also begin drying us out just a little bit. That humidity I talked about earlier is going to help prevent a lot of the shower activity from developing along the cold front because it's going to be so dry at the surface. For tomorrow, again, we're going to be dealing with these northerly winds. Slight cool down from today. We're losing temperatures from the 80s. We're dropping back down into the 60s, perhaps even upper 70s. Big area of high pressure begins dominating the tri-state area, again with that northerly clockwise flow coming from Canada. For tomorrow night, the high pressure really sets up over the tri-state region, bringing in that cooler Canadian air, temperatures dropping around into the 40-degree range. So nice drier conditions begin building up. If you had the AC on the last few days, you can start turning that off and relaxing just a little bit more for you. For tonight, we're going to drop down about 54 degrees. Again, the chance of showers, perhaps a stray thunderstorm, but again, not looking at too much in the way of shower and, accumulating rainfall totals. For tomorrow, again, the high of only 64 degrees. Behind the cold front, it's going to be mostly cloudy conditions. We're not going to be dealing with much sunshine tomorrow. 5-day forecast, you can see we don't recover very much as we go into the beginning of next week. This weekend, though, nice temperatures for football weather. Ahead of another cold front on the beginning of next week. So Monday, we're looking at temperatures beginning to increase into the 80s once again before another cold front moves through on Monday, knocking our temperatures back down into the 70s, and temperatures are going to continue to fall through the beginning of next week.
Well, at least the weather doesn't look too bad for family weekend.
I would say so. I mean, I love covering football games that are temperatures in the 60s. That's supremo for me. That's definitely my favorite conditions for football. So.
I just don't need snow and I'll be a happy girl.
Yeah,
I just don't need
Don't give me snow anytime
or 90
soon.
degrees.
I mean, typically we don't see our first snowfall until the beginning of November. Usually about the second week in November is our average for snowfall. So for now, fingers crossed, we're going to be staying away from that for now. Yes. But I don't want none of those 80s anymore either. 70s I'm okay with.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
Danny?
Fingers crossed on the Cardinals, too, in their NLDS coming up. Up next in sports, though, find out how the Macomb High School golf team stacked up at regionals. Also, the MHS football team suffered a heartbreaking loss at West Hancock last Friday. They look to rebound this week against Quincy Notre Dame. You'll get a sneak peek from head coach Kelly Sears. And the Western Illinois football team has gained contributions from players who missed last year due to injury. All that and more next on Live at 4.
Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet. Dang it. Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women. I could use your help. Yeah! Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
What did you want to be when you grew up? Now, how do you make it happen? Think purple, think success, think Western Illinois University.
My favorite thing about WIU is how much we work as a team. Everyone here has helped immensely, and when we work together, the outcome is amazing. Producing for the newscast, writing for the newscast, going to city council every Monday. It's something that I've learned that it takes a team. There's no such thing as an I. If there's an I, then we know that something's going to go wrong. I really do believe WIU has prepared me for the outside world. I can't wait to see where I end up. I have to thank everyone that has been involved. You know, Jasmine Creighton, she has managed to help me overcome that scary part, and the way that you have a great show is not the content that you have, it's the people who you work with. And here at WIU, I have had a chance to work with some excellent people.
Welcome back. I'm Danny Fry with sports. The Macomb High School football team lost on a play in the final seconds last week to the West Hancock Titans. Now, with a 3-3 overall record, the Bombers still have Project Playoff in mind as Quincy Notre Dame comes into town for senior night.
That, you know, that just really shoots the wind right out of your sails when you have something like that. And the big thing is that you know, everybody a lot of times in athletics, oh, it comes down to that last play and, oh, that's the play that beat us. Well, that really wasn't the play that beat us. There were a lot of other plays throughout the ball game that were momentum turners. You get to playing really well, and maybe you get to overlooking a few teams. And I think this loss last week might have just brought us back to reality and said, you know what, we got to bring our lunch pail and our hard hat every week. You know, we're not going to be the people on the penthouse every day. We got to get back, and we got to be the laborers, and we got to take care of business and do the things that it takes to win football games.
The stakes are high for both QND and MHS on Friday night.
And the crazy thing about it is QND's 4-2 and we're 3-3, and we beat them. We're 4-3 and they're 4-3, and then we're both fighting for our lives and trying to get it. And we got to win 2 of these last 3 to be able to make the playoffs, and it's going to be a huge game for both programs.
Kickoff in senior night for our game of the week in Macomb against Quincy Notre Dame is set for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's regional time for IHSA boys and girls golf. Both Macomb High teams had good showings this week. First, let's look at the Macomb Class 2A boys golf regional Macomb Country Club. Bombers finished 3rd overall with a .323. Dunlap taking the team title with a .307 team score. Low score wins. The top 3 teams move on. Nick Etling led the way for Macomb, shooting a 77. Then the next day, on Wednesday, it was the Class 1A Quincy Notre Dame Girls Golf Regional. The Lady Bombers won the regional with an overall score of .430. Pittsfield in second with a team score of .443. Macomb High senior Allison Torrance paced MHS with an 89. The Macomb High boys golf team advances to the Lincoln sectional on Monday, and the girls squad moves on to Monday's Rochester sectional. The Western Illinois football team finished 5-7 last year, reeling with injuries, including seniors Taylor Hill and Dallas Nichols. Those two stepped up in the 37-36 homecoming win.
Very strange, and it was against Southern too, I remember, and you know, it was a weird bus ride there, and you know, you're not going out for pre-warm-up to warm up with you guys, and just something I hadn't done ever. I've never missed a game, so it was very strange for sure.
Especially those tough games like NDSU and ISU. I could have gave up my right leg to say to get back on the field, but it was nice to actually sit back and see how everything unravels and you know, the cards. I mean, behind the play, the big picture, I guess you could say.
A couple crucial plays in the win over SIU were made by Hill and Nichols.
I mean, I knew what play, the play call, and I knew we were going to call that play, so I just wanted to make sure I ran the best route that I could, and Trent threw a great ball, and all the guys blocked perfectly, so I just, did what I could to help my team win.
I just seen a gift, and it kind of took my eyes off the ball, looking downfield, looking in the end zone, got a little too happy. So, but thanks to God, I brought it in, but thanks to Taylor, he made a great play on the ball and batted it up for me and gave me a nice little early Christmas present.
Up next for the Fighting Leathernecks is the 2-2 South Dakota Coyotes. USD went winless in the Missouri Valley Football Conference last season. WIU head coach Bob Nielsen aims for a balanced offensive attack to continue South Dakota's conference woes.
First, it starts with our continuing to be balanced. I think if we can run the football effectively and create some openings for the passing game, which is something we've done well the last 2 weeks. They've been really good against the run defensively, and they've forced teams to have to go to the air to move it. And we want to make sure that we can try to keep some balance in our offense.
Kickoff on Saturday at Hanson Field for Family Weekend will be at 3 o'clock against South Dakota. And also breaking news coming out of the Chicagoland area, Sammy Marshall, WIU softball alum, hired as the head coach at Wheaton Academy, a high school up north.
Well, that's really great. That's fantastic.
Congrats to her, imparting her knowledge at the next level.
Can we just talk about Go Cardinals for Friday?
Go Cardinal, we got to unite. There's too many Cub jerseys walking around campus, without a doubt. Too many of them.
Next year I'll be a little bit more scared, but for this year I think we're good.
Hopefully, 100 games.
Customers of a certain media streaming website may be upset in the near future.
Stay tuned to hear why next.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Crack yellow.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
It's going to cost a little more to have a subscription to Netflix. Old and new customers of the video streaming site will see an increase from $8.99 to $9.99 starting November 11th.
Netflix says it's raising the price so it can add more TV shows and movies to its service. Those who've had Netflix won't see a price increase until the next year.
I mean, it doesn't change anything to me. I'm still keeping my Netflix. I can't live without it.
I love Netflix. I have to watch it. I'll pay the extra $1. Think it'll be worth it.
I haven't had Netflix for like 3 or 4 months now, and I'm missing a part of my life that used to be such a major role.
I'm so sorry, Nick. That sounds really hard.
It does change your life.
All right, so let's take a look at the forecast again for tonight. We're going to be dropping down to 54 degrees behind a cold front. Chance of showers and thunderstorms, but not looking too much in the way of accumulating rainfall. For tomorrow, we'll get to about 64 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. A lot of cloud cover going to be remaining behind the cold front, and the winds will be turning to the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looking across a 5-day forecast, temperatures will slowly begin to increase as we begin to hit the enter of next week, up to 82 degrees, and temperatures will begin to fall again at the beginning of next week behind yet another cold front passage. But this weekend will be very nice and cool and very comfortable for you guys being outside.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's all for us from our studios today.
But we continue online all the time, News3WIU.com.
For Nicholas Stewart, I'm Colleen Judge.
And for Danny Fry, I'm Anna Malay Zuniga.
And for all of us at News 3, have a great evening.